Good morning. It's freezing. Michelle House here from Rich Living. Welcome to High Vibes at 5:55. Sorry, the video is going to be a bit shaky this morning. I didn't bring up my tripod Duvilaka thingy. And I thought I would come from a different location today for those of you watching the live or watching the replay on video. Those of you listening to me on podcast, I'll describe it as best as I can. Just sitting up on the deck here, and the sun is rising. Good morning. We see the sunrise happening. I just thought that might be nice to do high vibes with the sun rising. Let me see if I can position myself a little better. All right, so today, I'll get my fat fingers out of the way. There we go. There's the sunrise. Nice. So today, and I'm freezing. So I look like I'm coming out of the mountains. I came and sat on the deck and I went, I don't think this is a good idea. So I've raced in and got the blanket off the sofa. Well, off the floor because there is no sofa in there at the moment, which is what I'm going to talk about today. Good morning, everybody that's watching. So I wanted to talk a bit about, I'm really tired. That's one thing I wanted to say. I'm really tired and was struggling to get out of bed this morning to do this one, just because there's a lot going on. And of course, Tuesday nights of the new moon cycle is when we have our love seat for the Rich Living Academy, which was so amazing last night. I had the best time. I get so vibed by everybody that's in there and everybody's intentions for the month and what's happening, and being able to walk somebody through the process for their intention, which I did with Nicole. They're all expecting to see me in a truck. Let me come back to that story. I know, right? Jonathan and I are just so buggered we could not do it this morning. So there's a couple of things I wanted to share. One of the questions that came up in the group last night was, can your intention be too specific? And this is what I love about the Rich Living process for setting goals is there used to be this way called SMART goals, where it was specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely, within a time frame. What I've found over the course of my life was my goals would unfold, but it was more... not that specifically, that would come along and I'd go, oh, that's kind of what I wanted. Yeah, that's kind of it. Yeah, that's kind of it. And then timely may have turned out within a couple of months or a couple of years. But very rarely does it come that specifically, right? What happens when you make your intention so specific is your mind is actually doing the driving and you're not allowing any other possibilities to come in. Your specificness. So here's an example. I've got so many examples this morning. Going for a new home, you want to be in this location and you want this and you want that. And then all you do is you start looking at houses in those 6 blocks when there might be another house with all of that same stuff another suburb away, or maybe even another town away. You're actually closing your world off to the possibilities that are being presented to you. You know, one of my desires is to be really close to nature. That's actually the truest part of my desire, is to be connected to nature. So that for me looks like ocean, land, forest, bush. So my location of home could actually be anything around the world with all of that in place, right? It's not about being so specific that it has to be 2 doors back from the ocean. I find that when I've done that in the past, it actually limits the possibilities that are coming through. The universe has got this all sorted. It just wants you to tap in and tune into the energy and the feeling that you want in your life, right? So here's an example of being too specific. So house, and this would relate to anybody that's got a project. You kind of have a project. For me, at the moment, the project is prepare the house for sale. And there's all these other minor little things that have to happen in order for it to go to the market. So the end result is listed on realestate.com.au by this point in time. So what I'm really specific about, and I'll let you know how it works, is I really am specific about listing under the full moon, which is in 2 weeks' time, because I want to see if the new moon, how the new moon influences my Rich Living goal, right? I haven't done this before. So all of these things have to happen in order for that to occur. One of those things is packing up the pieces of furniture in our house and storage and stuff that we want to have out of the house for photos and for staging. So we know that is part of the plan, and we've known that was part of the plan for, I don't know, the last 3 months, that's something that we've got to do, but it never came up on our action list. So all these other things would come up on our action list, we'd get them done, and then the next week would come, and then we'd get them done, and then the next week would come. Then Monday, I was going, we really should have done this a long time ago. I think we've left this too late. This is my brain taking over and saying, we've left it too late. You should have done it. We should have done it earlier, blah, 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 whatever. So yesterday, I drove my daughter into an appointment into the city, and as we were coming back, I came back a different way. I roll. I came back a different way and noticed a storage company down the road. I know they've been there forever, but it was kind of right in my radar. I went, oh, we've got time. Let's pop in and find out and have a look. Never been in a storage facility. I have many, many, many years ago, but not for myself. Let's go and have a look, see what does it cost, what's happening, how much space do we need, blah, blah, blah. We get out, and this delightful man takes us around and shows us all the facility and what we need and how you use the lift and how to this and how to that. Starts telling me the pricing, and I'm going, it's so cheap. Why is it so cheap? And my brain starts to kick in at that point and is trying to make that wrong and making something not right about it, when I just needed to relax and surrender into the receiving from the universe, right? So that's what surrender is. Surrender is about stop talking and receive. Stop thinking and receive. So then he goes, I said, look, I'll go home, I'll tell Jonathan, blah, blah, blah. And then my brain starts working again. It's going, how are we going to get all this stuff here? We're going to have to hire a truck, or are we going to do this, or are we going to do that? And as he's writing down the sizes of the things, he says, we've got a truck here that you can borrow. Like, he read my mind. We've got a truck here that all tenants can borrow. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah, we've got a truck. It's out the front. We share it between all of the certain suburbs on this side of town. You do need to book it in advance. It is booked out this weekend, but it's available today. And I just went, okay, that's way too many. You know how we were talking about signs yesterday? That's way too many easy things happening right there and then. The price was so unexpected. I'd kind of forecasted in my mind what it would be. So that was a little bit unexpected. And I went, oh, wow, that's awesome. That's amazing. And then a truck? Are you joking? Okay, like a full truck? Or is he talking about a little tiny truck? What is he talking about? So I go out and have a look, and it's this decent sized truck. I mean, it's not a moving truck, but it's a decent sized truck. And then, so that was included. Oh, and then he goes, and by the way, the first month is free. And I'm going, okay, let's just sign it up, and I'll bring Jonathan back to pick up the truck. This is all way too easy and way too smooth. So if I had been really specific about doing the packing up of the house and putting it into storage a couple of weeks ago, the price would have been double, because I was actually looking at doing it another way. And then even if I'd found these guys, that offer of 1 month free wouldn't have been there. And would I have limited myself and cost myself even more money by having to hire a truck? So yes, you've got to have an intention. You have to have an intention, but you have to surrender into the specificness of the intention and allow it to unfold. You know, if you're paying off a loan or paying off a credit card, it's pretty specific, but along the way, you might get a really good tax return, or you might get an inheritance, or you might sell your car or sell your house and make a profit and pay it off. So you've gone past that goal. You can't get so specific and so fixed. You have to allow the energy to come into you. When I say energy, possibility. You have to allow the possibility to be seen by you. One of the things I said a lot last night in our Rich Living Alchemy of Intention love seat was, oh God, and I've just lost it. It'll come back to me. Hey, morning, Joe. Nice to see you. So yes, and the other thing I wanted to show you was when, so we're packing up our house, and we've got really nice pieces of furniture, and then we've got really old pieces of furniture that, you know, it's time that we had a refresh. But if I was really specific about, okay, here's the budget. So just let's say, for example, here's the budget. We've got $5,000 to furnish inside the house. Then my mind starts looking at everything to fill up that $5,000, right? I've got specific, and my mind gets into action and goes, okay, watch me spend all of this $5,000. When I set the intention of, I want my house to be appealing and welcoming and warm and comfortable. I want people to see all of the beautiful living areas, and I detach from the specificness of the amount, miracles happen. So for me, I don't think I've ever bought an outdoor setting under $100. And I would have had 3 or 4, you know, really good outdoor settings. Check it out. And this is thanks to my very great friend, Rachel Parr. If you need any styling, I'll give you her details. Here you go. Look at this. See this table? This was a crappy old table. Look at it. I mean, we've got a bit of stuff going on here. Crappy old table. So it was still, where is my thing? It was timber. So what the joy in this too is, the joy in not being specific is the kids have learned some techniques. They've learned how to sand, they've learned how to paint, they've learned how to use a spray gun. That and then let me show you the cushions. Hang on. Cushions, really pretty. Ta-da! The outdoor setting was $90 and the cushions were 60% off, $9.95 each. So if I had said, right, we need a new outdoor setting and our budget is $5,000, I would have found an outdoor setting for $5,000. But when I set the intention of wanting people to feel comfortable and to, you know, be connected with nature and to feel relaxed, and then the miracle can show up. Yeah? So the universe is always looking out for you and taking care of you and guiding you. Don't get too specific. Tap into what the emotion is and surrender into the receiving of whatever the universe is going to deliver to you. Yeah? Awesome. All right. I want to show you one more thing. Look at what the girls did to the fridge. Can we see it here? Isn't that gorgeous? That's a mandala. Hang on, let me see if I can turn it around this way. Ta-da! So we've got this really big fridge outside that looks like a bit of an eyesore, and they got the spray paint out and spray painted a mandala on it. It looks pretty cute. Anyway, there we go. Renovations are still ongoing. We are down to the wire now, a week and a half left. That's total bullshit, those renovation shows on TV, you know. Total bullshit. Well, I don't even know what I can show you because it still looks like such a mess. The decks are done, furniture's coming out, new stuff's going in. I'll show you it all when it's finished and put through some before and after photos. Priscilla's asking me a question. Did you ever go through a phase of feeling like you weren't deserving? Yeah, that's a really good question. Oh, not good enough. And that's to do with the fears. You know how we were talking about fears and we were talking about fear of success and fear of failure? In underneath that is not deserving. So for sure, not worthy. That's all self-worth and self-belief. That's past stuff, and probably, and you know, our parents do the best that they can, but and they shape us and they give us, you know, a molding for us to grow from. That's to do with self-belief and self-worth, and we are all deserving. We are all deserving of the best of everything. There is so much abundance and prosperity right there for all of us. We've just got to want it, know that it's for us and that it's okay. It's like, you know, we're just in the Rich Living Academy, we're just about to play this game in a couple of weeks called the Rich Living Prosperity Game. And it's really good because it takes your mindset and pulls it kind of out in front of you. People can say, you know, if I have $5 million, my life is going to be easier and so much better. And then they go through this game and they get to 2 million and they go, actually don't know what I would do with another million. What would I do with another million? And they start to feel uncomfortable and they start to feel undeserving, and that's when they want to give it away. And that's great, giving it away, but you also need to be open to receiving it. The universe loves us. The universe wants us to... Joey, my nephew, hello, in the UK. Hi, Joe, good morning. Yeah, so everybody is deserving. Everybody is deserving. So Priscilla will talk about that in the academy. Yeah, focusing on yourself can be seen as being selfish. It's not. It's, you know, we all know the analogy. It's the oxygen mask analogy. If you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of others. And I think that was one of the biggest lessons for me, especially after having children. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's actually serving others. Yeah? Awesome. All right, guys, have an amazing day. Joey, that was such a delight to see you pop in there. I hope everything's well for you. Thanks, everyone, for listening on the podcast, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Rich Living Moment. No, it's Thursday tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. It's Thursday. Bye.